Hi everybody and welcome to Beyond Politics. Today we're going to be speaking about something seriously important, probably one of the most important things we will be speaking about for the entire 2025.
Well, this is basically what we believe. We believe the Constitution of South Africa is filled with Trojan horses set up to take freedom away. And a lot of people will say, but that is fine if it keeps us safe. Until you've lost all of those freedoms, you won't be concerned, and then it'll be too late. So we need to look ahead, and that's what Lauren and I have been doing on Beyond Politics, looking ahead, looking at the Constitution, where it comes from, and a lot of people will fight hand tooth and nail for the Constitution to remain the way it is. But the Constitution has given unfettered power to people in government, and the Constitution can actually be changed. A lot of people will say, but the Constitution shouldn't be changed. It's the best in the world. It's the freest in the world. It's absolutely not. We have huge problems with the Constitution. I believe it needs a serious upgrade and improvement that'll help to make the citizens of South Africa more sovereign, make people less dependent on government. And many of the things built in there is being abused by people in power right now that have been elected. And I don't think the electorate understands the importance of how the Constitution was constructed, that process. And maybe we'll do videos on that or series on that in the future.
I'd love to. The Constitution needs a makeover. That's what it needs. So have you even read the Constitution? Please put it in the comments. It took me a long time before I actually read the Constitution. I'd voted, I'd gotten involved in politics, and over time, I found it important to actually read it from beginning to end. I'd love to know in the comments if you have, or if you have not read the Constitution, and if you haven't read it, do you intend on reading it? It's very important to know what's in it so that you know how it needs to change. But why are we talking about constitutional transformation right now? Well, surprisingly, the PMG, the Parliamentary Monitoring Group, has put out a notice. A joint constitutional review committee is calling for public submissions, asking you, the public, you, the citizens, what you think needs to be changed in the Constitution. Unfortunately, we haven't got a lot of time. We have until the 31st of May to put our submissions forward. I'll definitely, as leader of OWN, be putting a huge submission forward, and as an individual. And I urge everyone to do the same thing. It's the most important thing in the world right now. So there's two things that's important to note. If you're complaining about the government and you do nothing, you deserve the government you've got. Mm-hmm. And secondly, it's important to understand that a democracy, or a country that is employing democratic principles in its system, requires more than just voting at the ballot box in order for it to be a thriving democracy. It includes having to be involved in as many public participation, discussions or submissions or whatever there is happening. Do you know you can, for instance, go to your local council meetings, and you can sit in the what I call peanut gallery, and you can watch the proceedings. You have every right to do that.
So you can decide how to vote in future.
The problem with this country, and we had a little discussion with a random citizen just yesterday, and how she only is going to put her trust in her God, and then politics will just be left to politicians. Wow. And
she said she doesn't vote.
And I know
She's
so many
never
people.
Voted, right?
Never voted. I know so many people like that, so many people on this channel. And in fact, we've met people that have never voted but then have decided to vote last year, which is amazing. And I hope to change more people's minds. But we are born into systems we did not ask to be born into, and our refusal to participate in them is just leading to more and more oppression and more rights and freedom being taken away. So this is probably one of the most important things the government is doing right now, and it's probably a result of the Electoral Reform Panel Commission, because that happened earlier this year. We spoke about it. We did videos on it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Also,
absolutely.
Public participation was left to the last minute. The announcements were awful. You can't find notifications anywhere about where it's going to happen. But anyway, we were part of that. And
I think it's just rubber stamping things, in my opinion.
Doesn't matter. It's still an opportunity.
We should turn it into an opportunity, because the fact that they want to rubber stamp something and say we've done it, we can use that against the current system to change the system.
So the Electoral Reform Commission panel asked for public submissions on how the electoral system needs to be changed, but they were talking more about the Electoral Act. But I think what they've discovered through all the public submissions that were sent over is that the change actually has to take place at constitutional level. Because what does it say before the preamble? Do you remember? We are a what?
A multi-party democracy.
That's the biggest Trojan horse. We are a multi-party democracy. The fact that it's in our constitution and not in the Electoral Act means that that's basically laying the foundation for the type of democracy we're in. We're in for a mafia, mob, gang-ridden political system because the constitution ties us to parties. Whereas we've been saying all along, get rid of the political or government recognition of political parties and allow independent candidates to run for public office, including the President of South Africa. And what we'll have is more accountability between citizens and those we elect to public office.
No system is perfect, but that's a better system.
It's a step in the right direction.
It's a better form of democracy, yes.
It's a huge step in the right direction because we
accountability.
All you need is for a couple of influential people to fund and control the top 3 or 4 parties, and they control the whole country. When you have independence, it's far more difficult.
How is that not the case at the moment?
It's 100% the case right now.
Exactly.
And now we have the illusion of the GNU, which is just another joke. A lot of people still sing its praises. But what's actually happening is that they're attempting to do what the parliament's supposed to do in any case. Different representatives representing the people of South Africa, no matter how small the group or no matter how outlandish the beliefs of the constituencies.
And they want to hold onto this power because the constitution was set up for the citizens to have minimum freedom and for government to gain more and more power, because there's many things in this country that the rest of the world needs, and big world bodies that are often not recognized in the mainstream media control this country and how it's run. And if the citizens want to take that control back, we need to get involved in the processes that are available. I understand that a lot of people say, I don't want to get involved in any of that. That is actually serving a bad system, and it's bowing down to the system. What is your solution? That is what I'm asking people. And Lawrence come up with a solution to actually use the system against itself. And the Constitution allows for that change.
So we're asking you to pretty please, to put your submission forward. We'll put all the details in the description. We'll put it on our Twitter. We'll put it in our Beyond Politics newsletter. We'll put it everywhere we can in the Telegram group.
We'll probably do a public live stream on it as well.
And we should probably absolutely do a public live stream where you in the live stream can put your submissions through. It's not rocket science. It's really easy. They even have a guide on the PMG website on how to submit a comment to the government. So they're helping you. And we can either make use of the opportunity, or we can just carry on complaining and being keyboard warriors like people are so comfortable doing, which is so frustrating. But here's an opportunity for us to unite together. If just 10,000 people submit, if just 100,000 people submit, it will make such a huge difference. So please share this video everywhere and encourage people to read the Constitution and submit what you think or what they think should be changed in it.
And the reason why it's important that we do this now is because government now wants to introduce legislation to control social media platforms like this one. And when they exhibit control like that, or they want to put legislation or bills into place that monitor what people on social media says, then you are at a final stage where full government control is in place. So we need to work as hard as possible, and we'll do a video on that on its own. Okay. How government wants to control social media platforms and vlogs and things like that. And you'll be shocked to see the time frame that we have to make these changes until before we have a totalitarian situation. We don't have that yet in this country because we get warned of social unrest that can jump up at any stage. So people can revolt, and people do revolt when their freedoms are taken away. But why should we wait till then when we can follow a process right now that doesn't include bloodshed, doesn't include fire and smoke and many other things? We should absolutely try, and I believe, stick to peaceful means of doing things. So if you do not take part, the government just says, but the people aren't interested, they're happy with what we're doing.
You need to keep the government on its toes, and you need to make yourself aware of what is happening when there's public participation, and then get involved. So just one question I'll leave everyone with: do you care enough to do something about it? Do you care enough to type an email and send your submission over? And I hope the answer is yes.